Hey, I'm Josh York, and I want to talk about the future of the fashion industry. So, what exactly is fashion? It's clothing, right? And classically, people made clothing to protect their bodies against the weather and the elements. So, whether that was making clothes to keep your body warm in the wintertime, making clothes to protect yourself against a sandstorm, against the sun, whatever it was, clothing served a functional purpose rather than just to look stylish. But as humans have evolved, we've got more and more technologies, and you no longer really need clothing to protect yourself from the elements quite as much as you used to, because a lot of times we can just go inside where it's air conditioned or the heat is on. And so it still serves a purpose functionally, but it's not quite as important as it may have used to be. And you still do have your companies that make functional clothing, like you look at Carhartt. They make workwear for people in the auto industry or manufacturing or something like that. There's the North Faces of the world that make stuff for exploring and for being outdoors. But more times than not, you'll find a lot of clothing brands that make clothes simply to make someone look or feel a certain way. And that's what I would call fashion. So as clothing has evolved, originally it used to be made, like I said, functionally. And people would actually make a lot of the clothes that they wore themselves. So a mom would make clothing for her family and her kids. You'd get one pair of pants and a shirt, and that's kind of what you had, and that's all you really needed. And so it's been quite a transition from hand making stuff at home to outsourcing, where other people would make clothes for you and you would buy them. And then nowadays, a lot of clothing is made all around the world and it's shipped right to your door if you need it. But what I want to talk about is not where we are, where we came from, but really where we're headed. That the fashion industry is going to get more and more customized, and it's going to get faster and faster from when you place that order to when it actually delivers. In 10, 15, 20 years, I'm not sure how long it's going to take, you're going to be able to take your cell phone, you're going to be able to take a picture of yourself or hold it up, and in that phone you're going to be able to see a photo of yourself or some kind of VR or AR experience. You're actually wearing that shirt. So say I want to get this black shirt online. I hold up my phone or whatever that device is at the time, and I'm able to just look at it or scan myself in the mirror, and I'll be able to see what I look like wearing that shirt. And so while I'm actually looking at my phone and seeing what I look like wearing the shirt, checking out front, back, side, all the different angles, the phone and the app or whatever that platform is at the time is actually going to have a tool that's going to be taking my measurements as I'm looking at it. So it'll measure the width across my shoulders, the width side to side. It'll tell me to turn around. It's going to measure my length. Whoever's selling me that garment is going to know exactly my size. And by the time I push buy on my phone, it's going to have all my measurements. It's going to send them to some facility somewhere where there's actually going to be a machine that will just computerize the cuts for exactly to my measurements, and I'm going to be able to custom order that shirt exactly to fit my body. As soon as you press order, it's going to send it to that machine. That machine's going to start processing it and start actually building the garment. And within an hour, that garment is going to be on its way back to me. I'm going to be able to press buy. It's going to custom make this garment for me to my measurements and my dimensions, and then it's going to ship to me, to my doorstep. Now, how's it going to ship there? I can't tell you. I'm not getting into that whole debate, but I truly believe that fashion is going to get faster and it's also going to get more custom, and it's going to kind of remove the need for humans to be in that cycle. Now, granted, there are going to still be small batch companies that do hand-make garments. There's still definitely going to be a market for that. But for fast fashion, companies like Amazon are going to be able to just do that so fast and so easily. Now, what that's going to create are some really interesting scenarios where a custom-made good is not desired by the intended purchaser. So say I custom order this black sweatshirt, I don't like the fit or I don't like the fabric and I want to return that. Now you might think, why would a company return a custom garment like that? You couldn't return a custom color of paint back to Home Depot. But I really think that companies like Amazon that are so extremely customer-centric, they're going to accept it because they want to keep the customer happy. So then what's going to happen? There's a bunch of these custom garments fit to specific bodies that the people don't want. Where are they going to be sold? I really think that's going to make an interesting secondary market for these items, because they're almost like a clearance style at the end of the season. You know, stuff that didn't sell very well, but it's still first-rate goods. There's going to be sellers that specifically do that, and they sell those garments at a discounted cost. They also could be donated to places like Africa or Haiti. America and European fashion companies tend to donate a lot of goods to those type of areas around the world. And so there's going to be a little bit of waste from that kind of a thing, but I think overall in the system there's going to be less waste because garments will be specifically made for people, and I think that there's going to be a more of an on-demand approach to production. Instead of producing hundreds of thousands of garments and then having to go sell them, you're only producing what people have already purchased. So ultimately there's going to be less fabric waste and wasted goods in the system. So that's my hypothesis for the future of the fashion industry. It's January of 2019, so we've got a long way to go till we hit there, but we will see how things play out. If you have any comments or any suggestions, any thoughts, any other ideas, am I wrong in thinking any of this? I'd love to hear it, especially if you think I'm wrong. Tell me what's going to happen. I'm really curious your thoughts on this topic. So tell me in the comments below, and thanks for watching.